Hey guys, this is Nique and Ress, and this is She Wolf Alchemy. Today we will be talking about choosing love carefully.
Yeah, so this is episode for our single moms. There is a lot of pressure when it comes to dating as a single mom. And I know this is something me and you have both talked about before. I feel like there's like a couple categories I feel like single moms get put in. The first category is like, I don't know if you've heard this a lot, but I've heard the rhetoric like, I won't date till my kids get older because, I just have to protect. And look, to those who have had traumatic situations happen, and because of that, and you have not, processed, or maybe, maybe you have, and that's just how you feel you need to move, that's perfectly okay. I personally don't believe in that. I
Hmm.
personally don't believe as a mother that means I have to put my emotional life on pause. I think you can date in a safe way. There's just things to go about it. Me personally, I grew up with my stepdad being like my father. Like that's who's walking me down the aisle. I grew up with a stepdad and like that's who I refer to as dad. Usually when I'm talking about dad in a positive light, that's who I'm talking about. I grew up with a really good blended family. And so I believe in blended families. I believe that can work, but you just have to be careful when you are choosing a partner. But, it's like you have that category of people are like, no, you should not date at all till your kids get grown. And then you have the other category of people that are like, okay, but you got to keep it a secret. Don't let nobody meet them at all. And then you have the other category that's like, no, everybody can meet them. Whatever. Let's see what's happening. So today we're gonna kind of explore that, exploring the pressures of dating as a single mom and what that can look like in a safe way. So let's talk about kind of like that invisible pressure, of single motherhood. Like there is a quiet pressure I feel like nobody really talks about when you're a single mom. Not only is there like a pressure to survive, and a lot of us, we've gotten really good at surviving. Some of us have gotten too good at it. But there's also like a pressure to model love for our children, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
For some people, like, the reason they are single moms is because I realized me and your father's dynamic was unhealthy, and so I had to get away from it because I didn't want you to think that was what love was. And when you're trying to be really conscious about, like, "Ooh, who I date, how I date is gonna leave a lasting impression on you," it can feel like walking on a tightrope. Like, okay, am I doing this thing right? Because not only do we feel the pressure to model good love and to display that to our kids, it is that balance of I want my child to see that their mother be loved and be loved in a healthy way.
Correct.
I want my child to see their mother being spoken to in a kind and loving way. I want them to see this healthiness, but like at what point is it too far? And at what point do I start bringing this person in? And how do we make that work? And I think it's like such a fear of like, but what happens if I start this and it does not work? And then what does that mean for my child?
Hmm. I think going back when we were saying like the three different ones, like the three different levels of it. Um, I was thinking about that because at one time when I first became like a single mom, when my like fiance passed, I thought eventually like, yes, you would see love again, maybe. But then once I started to try to date, sometimes I would feel like sometimes that would play in my head like, those old people was right. Maybe I should wait to start dating
Mhm,
after she gets done
mhm,
growing up because this is too hard. This is too
mhm,
hard to try to figure out and try to navigate. Because I always was against that. I have friends, moms that never dated, and I'm like, but now you real, and I just don't wanna be real, like, older, and then I just never
mhm,
had that love or never my daughter never seen it, and that's the thing that played in my head too, like, I still want her to see me be in love correctly so she can know what that means, like, so she can see it within her house. She might see it outside her house with my grandparents, but I want her to see it, my parents, her grandparents, but I would
mhm.
like for her to see it within my house, so I definitely know within myself, I went through those 3 different stages, like, what's the best way to go about this? Because sometimes it can become overwhelming. Well, it definitely has been for me in different time periods of my life.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You know me, I've hidden our relationships. And it's so funny. I think I told you this last week. I can't what did my daughter say to me? She said something. I had to text you. I can't remember, but it has something to do with
I can't
relationships.
remember.
You can remember, what did she say?
I think she was saying, okay, she wants another sibling. Can I say
Right.
that right? Okay.
Yes.
So she wants another sibling. She's like, well, you just need to adopt one because it's gonna take too long for the husband to come. And she was like, because you don't be dating nobody. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She was like, yeah, that's exactly. She was talking to me about wanting a sibling. And she's like, can we just like adopt the child? I was like, why? What? Why are you talking about adoption? She was like, because you don't be dating. And I want a sibling. And I was like, first of all, I go on dates. And we had to have this like whole conversation. She's like, you be talking to men? like, like it never even crossed her mind that I talked to men. And and like this is kind of how this conversation got brought up because I was like, ah, crap. Because I feel like, dang, I did such a good job at hiding it that she just be like, poor mama. She just be waiting for me to come home. I'm the only love in her life.
Yes.
And I was like cracking up because I think I told you I might cut this part out, but I was like, girl, a whole man paid for some of your birthday party this year. Like, what do you mean? Your mama's fine. like,
Yes. Yes. She's good,
remember
sis.
that
She's
big
good.
birthday gift you got? That wasn't for mama. That was for
Mhm.
I was trying to be your stepdaddy. Like, girl, mama is good. Mama is good. But I had like in my head, I didn't think she was consciously thinking. I still thought I had time. I still my head.
Mhm.
And our both of our daughters are 8. It's about to be 8 years old. So like in my head, I'm like, oh, I got time before that becomes a thing that she's too concerned about. And so I've always kind of been like really hidden. I introduced her to one person, like formally introduced her to one person, and it went horribly. Um, it went horrible. Like not like something traumatic happened, but it really made me realize the importance of dating someone that's been around children. It really made me realize the importance of like talk to these men about like, hey, what is your idea of family and what you're willing to go into? Because while we have had talks and he very much knew I was a mother, because I was such in protective mode, I didn't
Mhm.
really like talking to him too much about like my motherhood. Like that's good. I'm a separate person. And then if we decide this is gonna be serious, that's when I bring it in. And I realized at that point I had brought it in and was like, ooh, this is not gonna be a good match. You
Yeah.
you're very awkward around children. You feel
Mhm.
very uncomfortable with children.
But then it's like it was kind of a good thing that it happened so early, like when she was younger.
Yeah,
It's
because
something
she don't
she won't
remember.
it's something she won't remember. And it's
Yeah,
also like we don't know. I mean, we already know it wouldn't work anyway with that one.
yeah,
But if you was like, dang, I really want to be with him, and you waited all the way until he engaged
yeah,
and it's like now we out, not stuck, but it's just like,
yeah.
we here.
And let me tell you why it matched, because I didn't find out about my stepdad until my parent, like until they were engaged. Like he was
Mhm.
about to move in the house and everything a month before. She's like, "Oh, by the way, I got a man," and we was like, "What? You got a man? I'm getting married." And he was like, "You getting married?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then he just had to take me shopping every weekend for me to be like, "Okay, I guess I like him." Like
But
that's how that went.
he was willing to put in the work though,
He
like, this
was
was
willing to
acting
put
so
it in.
awkward. And
Yeah,
then yeah, and then my situation, it was a good situation, whereas they clicked and he was helpful and it was working out well in the moment, but it's just like when it stopped, it was a void that she did feel. So that wasn't a good thing either.
yeah.
That she had to collect her thoughts. And luckily, yes, she was young too. So it's not nothing that she will remember now. But it's just like it's going through all of that too. And you don't really want to go through that either.
Yeah. Well, and now they're at the age where we have to be extremely conscious because again, your daughter was very young when it happened. My daughter was like 2 at the time when this happened. We had went out to I think the aquarium or something together and I was like, let me store this away. This is probably not gonna work. That was literally the beginning of the end of that situation.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so they were younger, but like now that they're at an age where they be noticing.
Everything,
They
everything.
notice
They
everything.
can read
And
your
now they
text
remember
messages too.
names. When I let her meet that man, by
Yeah.
the end of the day, like we were driving home and I was like, hey, how do we like him? She was like, who's him? I was like, the person that was with us. Like, she was like, oh, that man, you let that man that was in the car? I don't know. Like, she was not paying attention. It went away. But now we're
Mhm.
at the point where, like, nah, she remember her names. She's like,
Mhm.
"What's the zodiac sign?" Like, she's very conscious.
Yeah, same, same. They it couldn't happen now because even I was talking to somebody, she even never met him, but she would just sneak in my room when I'm talking on the phone with him, and she could even build a connection with that. Like, she just it's just like it's just yeah, they too old
Yeah,
now, so you gotta be even more we
yeah,
really gotta think about it more now, so
yeah. Because I mean, now it's no longer just like, "Oh, okay, I gotta wait till I feel fireworks," but it's like, also, I gotta wait till I build consistency.
mhm,
Like, okay,
mhm,
now I got the fireworks feelings. Now I'm feeling like I'm in love. You're giving consistency and so forth. And it's like, okay, now then how do we integrate that in while still being very protective of
mhm.
our children?
So let's talk about the guilt gap when basically protecting starts to feel like depriving. And we don't want our children to grow up and say, I never saw my mom being loved or I didn't even know what that really looks like. And you start to wrestle with the question of, am I really protecting her or am I depriving them of hope?
Yeah. Now, this is a really good one because in therapy, talk about a lot. I have a lot of clients that come in and we are discussing, like, I never even see my mom be loved. I'm not even sure if I know what healthy love looks like. I don't even know if I'm worthy of healthy love. I've never seen any woman in my family be loved in a healthy way. And I do think that makes a really big impact. And this is like not only on women, also on men. I really think it's important for men to also see their mother be loved as well. And it's something that I've worked with people also processing that as well. And I think kind of like I was talking about earlier the other day when my daughter has said that, I was just like, oh crap, dang, she really don't think her mom was out here being loved. And that did kind of make me sad. It was like, oh crap, am I leading her down a path where it might lead to this idea of like, no, we strong, we independent, we don't need nobody. And that's good in a certain sense, but at some point in her journey as a woman, I don't want her to feel like love is this thing that's so far away or this thing that's not for women like us. And the reason I say this is again, I have worked with a lot of people where that is a thing, where they're like, yeah, I either had to be strong and alone, or I am going to be weak and I'm with somebody. And it's because in their mind, the people that they did see in relationships, it was unhealthy type of love. So now it's associated with weakness versus maybe they did have a really strong mama who handled things and had all the things together to pay all the bills, but they didn't get to see them be loved. And so now it's associated with, well, love is weakness. And I guess being a strong woman means I just don't get love. And that is a terrifying path to put a child on.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. And going back to when you were saying, like, even like the guys need to see their mom being loved because I had a guy that I talked to, like, I ain't never seen none of my mom's people. But then when she got married, you didn't even get along with the man, like, because he just came at the end. And it's like, I get it. You don't need to be seeing everybody,
Yeah.
but you just never seen like the love because his parents wasn't together, and then she remarried, and you just never seen it. So I understand that part. I get it. And then even for me personally, like I was saying earlier, I would like for her to know like how to be treated or how the guy's supposed to be a gentleman or like
Hmm.
it's okay. Like I don't know, like your daughters usually model things that you show them. Regardless that you could say, do what I say
Hmm.
now what I do. That it is just not how it goes. Like
Hmm.
I feel like that it's gonna always make an impression. Like even
Yeah.
friends that they never really seen their mom be loved correctly. And I
Hmm.
observed them begging for love or begging for affection
Yeah.
and being happy about the simplest of things. Whereas me, I'm like, that ain't nothing. Like that's not
Yeah.
nothing. That's not a mean like girl,
Hmm.
what? That's nothing. But it's probably because they never literally seen nothing.
Yeah.
And so anything like simple as a thing is a great thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I definitely struggle with that. Like, and that definitely gets me in my feels sometimes because I want her to see that.
Yeah.
That's very important to me.
I mean, going back to the even guys things, as we all know, the way a man with mother issues is attracted to me needs to be studied. So I have dated lots of men who have had this issue of like, and not even like, because I dated lots of men that came from two family homes, but the way their mother was being loved, or the way that their mother, like I dated this guy who his mother cheated on his father. And the beliefs he had about settling down with women because could women be trusted? And it wasn't that blunt. It was just in little ways and little things, and I started being like, "Oh, this is a thing for you. Oh, you resent her. Oh, this has okay. You believe women don't respect strong, good family men." And that was a whole thing. And so it does have like big lasting impacts. And that's not to always say like, okay, because sometimes you have kids that see you do something, they're like, I want to be the total opposite.
Yeah.
Definitely a thing. There's definitely certain things in me that I'm completely opposite of my parents on because I'm just like, yeah, I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for my life. But the chances of that happening are less likely than them seeing what you went through and being like, okay, this is the norm. I guess this is what we
Mhm.
settled for. And kind of
Mhm.
like you said, if I've never seen someone be loved properly, and can I just also add in here on the flip side, and this is not all the time, but a lot of times what we see happen on the flip side is that they see their dads dating multiple women. There's always a new girlfriend that's doing their hair. There's always a new girlfriend that's like buying him Tim's and stuff. And so also like what image is that creating for a little boy or a little girl?
Mhm.
If I
Yeah.
see dad, he goes through multiple women, I might think it's normal for there to be just relationship after relationship after relationship. Or the other side of that is, oh, I'm alone.
Mhm. Mhm.
Not, and so, that's the thing that I think is also hard in trying to do that balance in when you are co-parenting. Because matter of fact, I said this to my daughter earlier because I can't remember. I was taking her to go do something and she was like, I can't do that. And I was like, why can't you do that? And she was like, Daddy said, I was like, girl, that's his household. We don't, what your daddy gonna do to me? I was like, this is what we do in this household. So yes,
Yeah.
we can go ahead and do whatever it was. It was something silly, but like it's sometimes it is, and it made me really conscious of the fact that she is aware, like, oh, over here, this is what we do. And so, can I do this over here? And I had to reassure her, like, girl, this is my house. Like, yeah, yeah, we can do this over here.
Yeah.
Um, and I had to like reassure her a couple of times, and she was like, I don't know, because I don't want daddy to find out. I was like, girl, do you know I can text that man and put the fear in him? Don't worry about don't worry about him. I got
You
this.
good, sis. You good.
You're good. So that is something to keep in mind of like, okay, well, at what part is this protecting their peace? And at what part is this really depriving them of hope for all?
Mhm.
I think when I'm thinking about this, I personally feel like, and I've adjusted it a little bit ever since me and my daughter had that conversation. That was just 2 weeks ago. But I always kind of had like a checklist of like, okay, I won't bring anybody into my daughter's life until we go through this. And now I've had to move it because I have always been like, when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna marry this man.
Mhm.
That's why it's only been one person. There was only one person that made me feel like, oh, this might be my person. And now I want to adjust it a little bit more because even after that situation, I added more things to the list. Like, nope, nope. When we are talking about moving in, we're talking about wedding rings, when we are talking about, that's where we are going to be. And now I'm wondering if that is a step too far, because again, her little self has made it very known to me. Like she like, girl, you be in the corner reading books. Nobody be loving on you. And that's okay. Go get
Mhm.
me a little brother from Cambodia. And let's just be a happy family together. And so now like I'm adjusting my list. Have you adjusted your list over the years of like, okay, it went from, okay, this is what my list used to be. Again, for me, it used to be like, okay, we're talking marriage, we're talking moving in together. That's when I'm like, oh, okay, now I have to bring you around my child. And now I think it's more so, okay, when I'm being serious with somebody. And I feel comfortable with that because you know me, I don't just get serious with anybody,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like I'm a person who has like a serious, there's people around, but like I actually take serious. That's not something I'm doing like every 5 months, I'm switching them out type of thing at all.
Mhm.
So even me getting to that point with anyone is like big for me, not only her. And so now I feel more comfortable with that because it's like I trust myself. I trust my ability. Yeah, I trust myself. Like I trust myself and I trust like the levels I would seek and peek through before I would ever bring somebody into my child's life.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't think that that's the thing. I don't feel like I had a list going into it, and I don't see it, but yeah, I don't think I had a list going into it when I did go into it. But she had met 2 guys, but the first one I definitely was romantically thinking about marrying him. The other one is just presenting I would just present him as a friend, and she just thinks that, yeah, okay, he's a friend. We don't show any affection at all in front of her, but that's the thing that I'm like, if I ever do find somebody serious the next time, I won't move so fast. Cause I know I had a guy I was dating and I did meet his child. And then he was like, but why I can't never meet your child? And I guess that's in my mentally in my head is like consistency, consistency, consistency. You're not showing me enough consistency to see my child. Because if you're not showing me enough consistency, you're not going to show her enough consistency. And I can fall for you quick, so sis might fall for you too. And if you
Mhm.
just taken away, it's just like now this is something else I have to pick up the pieces too. So I will say I have having little mental notes going along the way where I want now it is like about to be married or it's marriage is something that we're talking about or we're in a permanent relationship and I kind of want to see if you guys match before we all try to be a whole happy family.
Yeah.
But I don't see her meeting anybody now until it's like a consistent relationship talking about marriage. Whereas for real, I wasn't as particular as I needed to be.
Yeah.
Uh, and in some ways that might have affected her. Even though
Yeah.
she was younger. I don't think the first one really affected her, but who knows if this current one did
Yeah.
or is or whatever. Regardless if we were only friends or whatever, or he just comes
Yeah.
to fix stuff in my house. It's like she's seeing the presence of somebody. So I just wanna safeguard it more,
Yeah.
going forth.
You know, one of the new things I actually add to my list is I've decided that I want my friends to meet him first, at least 1 or 2 of y'all to meet
Mhm,
them first, and then, like, gauge kinda like with my girlfriends because also Gabby recently told me this as well. The one person that I was like, "Yo, I think this is my person," all y'all was like, "Him? Really?" Out of everybody this like, I didn't know y'all did not love that man. I didn't know y'all did not none of y'all told me during the time. When I was like, I left, I walked away, all y'all was like, "Oh, thank God." All right, well, and I was just like, "What?" Like, Gabby just told me a couple months ago. Like, "Yeah, she's like, 'Hey, are we over them yet?' And I was like, 'Yeah, I'm over them now.'" Okay, because I did not like what I was hearing. I was
we
like,
had to
"This
wait. He was all the way over. But
y'all didn't like that bit, and I did not know."
but the thing is, I liked him until I didn't. I think
Yeah.
the moment I did not like him was when you introduced him to Kari and he took the script, and I think that's what pissed
Mhm.
me off. Like, the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm good, love. So, like, I think that's was the turning point because for the most part, I was geeking it up. Like, oh, you want
Mhm.
to, oh, you this, oh, you did that. And then I started getting protective over Kari and how that made you feel. And I was mad about
Yeah.
that. And I think that's when I was like, I'm good. I'm good. You're too wishy washy.
Yeah. And that's how Gabby was. She was very much like, I because with that particular person did all the things. I will give them
Hmm.
that. They did
Hmm.
all the things. They did the things. They did the stepping up. They did, but they would just every now and then throw me for a loophole emotionally, where they will randomly bring up and say some stuff that makes me had a pause and be like, hold on. And that's complicated when you see the person still doing the things, but now you dropping little Easter eggs that have me like, I mean, yeah, you going through doing these things, but like I don't know if I like how your mind works. Like, I don't know if I appreciate
Hmm.
that. But yes. Well, anyways, I just recently found out that some of y'all did not like this man. This man was years ago. But yeah, and so that was one of my things. And I'm not gonna tell Ashley. Ashley don't listen to episodes. She's not on, so it doesn't matter. I can say this. She's not gonna listen. So I'm not to Ashley because Ashley for years has been telling me like you have to let us meet these men, and I'm like they don't be that important. Like I'm such a big believer in like I like moving in silence. You are probably the person that gets the most tea out of anybody.
Hmm.
Even then, I still keep a lot of stuff to myself.
Hmm.
Um, but for years, Ashley has been in that because Ashley likes parading her people out. Like when Ashley meets a person, she's like, I like them. She takes them on tour. Like she's having a house party. She's making sure he invites some of us out to dinner. So I'm she's like, I just want to make sure there's nothing I'm missing. So anyways, like Ashley's really big on that. And so for years she has told me, like, you gotta start letting us meet them. Cause we can pick up on things you're not picking up on. And I was just like, no, I don't
True, but I
I
was
like
gonna
keeping
share
my
it.
love life very separate from the rest of my life. I really
Yeah.
do. And I think I have to
Yeah.
stop doing that, especially as we're talking about how do you integrate your child? Because my child is very integrated in everything I do. I don't make
Mhm.
business moves without my child in mind. I don't make
Mhm.
travel moves without my child in mind. I don't make any moves in any area of my life without her in mind. And so it's like, okay, so as we're talking about serious partnership and we're talking about how are you going to keep them separate? And then your plan to at some point introduce it to your child. Your child's a part of everything. So you do need to have to learn to integrate men into your life, your other life. And I think a
Mhm.
big part of that is because I feel like if you're not integrated into other areas of my life, it's so much easier for me to just cut you off and go about my damn way.
True, and nobody knows it. Like, so that's
You know
it.
what? I was talking to I was talking to one of my cousins the other year because last year I had somebody and he I was cooking for me. And so I had took a picture of him cooking, but it was like the back of his head and so forth or whatever. And they were like, "Oh, is this the guy y'all been dating for a while?" It was two different niggas. It was two different niggas. But they didn't know. You know why? You know why? I don't have to have conversations about how these are two different men. Why? Because I keep that part of my life separate.
Yeah, yeah,
Word. I'm like, yeah, no, he's great. Yeah. So, yeah,
yeah.
separate. Huh?
Gotta separate the two. Right. I think that I don't know how you slice getting here, sir. I think that I don't really share until I like really like them.
Yeah.
Like then I'll be like, can you see how he acting towards me? Am I tripping? Because
Yeah.
I'm a lover girl. I'm like, does he really like me? Because can you just peep the scene and see what's up? And then if I like you, yeah, I'll act like Ashley. You're gonna do the world tour. Because I feel
Yeah.
like the last person I dated, everybody done met that man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it's like, because I'm trying to see, like, am I tripping or if I'm
Mhm.
not?
Yeah.
But if I'm still trying to figure it out, I'm like, you ain't got to meet him. There's no reason to meet him at all.
Look, I'm telling you,
At
this is
all.
gonna be the new rule. All right. So we know it's serious when we make them men go on a double date. We're like,
We're about to go on a double date. We're about to.
we were about to do a double date earlier this year. We were trying to figure it out. And we was like, okay, all right, we're gonna put them down together. You're gonna evaluate him. I'm gonna evaluate him, and we gonna see. We gonna see.
See, and clearly neither of them are here, so it's good.
Yeah. Both of them Negroes had to go. Both of them Negroes had to go.
Right, right, right.
Look, that man is currently blocked on like 8 different numbers
Mhm.
and still finding ways to reach out. Yeah, no, that man had to go. But yeah, okay, so that could be that's okay. That's our new agreement. We're gonna sit
Mhm.
them down on double dates. And we
Yes,
just gonna be like, yeah, no, it's just our
because it's
sexual
good.
battery.
Yeah,
So
to
we
see
just
them
gonna
in different lights.
yeah,
It's good to see them in different lights and how they communicate with like each other, with our friends. Because you want to see
yeah,
them in social situations, like when the
yeah.
pressure's on, because they act totally different.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
even the guy that's my friend, like when I see him around, like my family, he like acts really shy or keeps talking like yeah, like you don't even act like this. So it's like good to see different people in different
Yeah.
areas because it's yeah. I just want to see like is this their natural attitude or their natural swag.
See, that part won't work for me because I typically date very charismatic men. Like the ones I tend to get serious with tend to be very charismatic, and so it doesn't matter. Like you put them in a room, they
Yeah,
just turn on that
yeah,
personality and they
that's
go.
true.
So yeah, that one won't necessarily work for me.
Yeah.
I think y'all, I trust your intuition. I trust your judgment. I think you're very good in those type of situations. I think the only thing is you won't tell me then.
I will now because
Okay.
then I was like, I don't know, should I say anything? I guess.
Mhm.
But I was pissed, but I didn't say anything, but I will now. And then I probably was operating on like if it was me, I guess.
Yeah.
And I always be like, okay, so you can tell me, but don't tell me so harsh. Like, or if I ask, straight ask, I really, really, really want to know.
Yeah.
So since you told me like it's something I'm like, I peeped this. I'm just gonna let you know. I'd rather
Yeah.
know because it's upsetting afterwards. Like, bruh, I couldn't have wasted all the time. But the thing with you have great intuition, so you gonna figure it out anyway. There's
Yeah.
some friends that was just never figured out, so I probably should have told them. So,
Now, if anything, I think I need you guys more when I'm like, I'm about to be done. You're like, hey, you went to school for six
mhm.
years to learn communication skills. Why don't you use that just for a little bit?
Yes,
That's
yes.
where you guys are good at. When I'm like, I'm trying to leave, I'm trying to end it. I'll be like, hey,
Mhm.
you actually like him. Why don't you talk
And
this through?
I be needing that too. And I think it's because even that thing we're talking about where I just on the fence all the time. So
Yeah,
I definitely be like, this ain't it. And I be trying to dip out like fast now. Like,
yeah,
we good. I'm out. But
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely need that reassurance. Like, oh, you're messing this up on purpose. That's the
Yeah.
thing you're doing now. So
I'm proud of you. You are doing a lot better. And kind of going back to that whole like, okay, mommy, why haven't I seen you with anyone? It goes back to that, I don't want you to associate romance with chaos. I don't want you to think love is a man who rotates every couple of months. I don't want your peace to be something that I sacrifice just so I can feel desire. It's about wanting your child to see you respected, to look at your relationships and go like, oh, that's the bar. And I think about this because, like, even again, I grew up with my stepdad, um, and my stepdad is a big like bar for me. No, no, no. There's some things, there's some things that I'm like, yeah, no. Well, I refuse to ever marry a pastor. I've
mm,
said this multiple times. I will marry a rapper at the height of his fame before I would marry a pastor. Before I become a first lady,
yeah.
refuse.
And
But
I agree. I
I,
agree. And I'm a Christian and I agree. Like I dated, I was like, so you try to go the long run and be a pastor, a preacher. I was like, I can't do that. I just can't do it. Like I
yeah.
can't. I can't at all. So I
Y'all
agree.
talk about the do not date list being cops, military, firemen. Put pastors on the list. Put
Mhm.
pastors on
I
the
can't.
list.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Put
I
them
think
on the list. Pastors and athletes. Put them on the list. Uh,
Mhm.
but no, there's some stuff. But there's other things that are a big part of it. I used to go home for like spring break or whatever when I was in college. And I already knew the first night I'm there, I was gonna wake up and I was not gonna know where my car was. Because my dad like if it was winter break, he would winterize my car. He would take my car, he would take it to auto shop, let him sop down like my tires. He would go clean my car out, make sure I have a full tank, make sure like there's certain levels of things like that now I associate with like I need this as the basic level of care. And like I grew up with my dad buying my mom houses for birthday gifts. I grew up with my dad buying my mom cars for anniversary gifts. And that's not to say like you have to be at that level, but like what I mean by that is I grew up with a father who anticipated my mother's needs, who was like, oh, she for the last 3 years, every time we passed that house, she was like, that's her dream house. And it went on sale. Let me see what I can do. Of the him being like, okay, oh shoot, I know she wants this car. She's been wanting this car for a while. We already paid off the other car. I know her favorite color is red. Let me go. It's not even so much about the grand gesture of it all. And don't let that be mistaken. I love grand gestures. I'm a grand gesture girl. But it's more so about the watching a man who was like, because I love you and I know this is something that make you happy, I'm going to do it without it being asked. You don't have to remind me. You don't have to ask me. You don't have to tell me over and over what you want or what you need. I peeped in on what you want, what you need when you told me the first time, or just after observing you. And so now I just make it a normal habit of my life to get you those things, to provide you those things. And so for me, like that's the standard.
It is, and that's a sender for me too. Like even like stuff goes wrong with my house, my dad was like, "Okay, just tell me and we're gonna get it fixed." Or he'll pay for it, or he'll do it, or you need this, or coming on my house and bringing things that I need because I was complaining about it. And not even complaining about it to get it done. Cause I'm usually trying to get stuff done by myself. But the
Yeah.
fact that he was just knocking on my door, here it up, here, let me set this up for you. Let me do this.
Hmm.
So it's just like when it don't happen that way, I'm like, well, what are we doing? Or
Yeah.
like a pet peeve, like, what did you eat today? I didn't eat nothing yet. If you're not sending me, and I'm not trying to be a gold digger, I'm just like, you're not anticipating my needs. And the thing is with me and you, if our needs are anticipated, we already anticipating their needs anyways.
Hmm. Because
So it's
that's the
just
thing I
like,
want to, yeah, throw in there before any male audience members get mad. Like y'all always want. First of all, me and Nique are both people who already does that when we love people, friends,
yes,
family. It doesn't matter who. Both of us
regardless.
are really big on picking up what people needs are and
Mhm,
just taking care of them. If
mhm.
anything, we need to go to rehab to stop doing it as
Well,
much.
probably. I done had one time I was trying to like plan a whole birthday party, and our friend was like, "Why are you doing it? Y'all not together?" Because we're soccer grads and like we're together. So it's just like I just be it's so I deserve it. I deserve everything I'm saying right now because it gives back freely.
Yeah.
And the fact that my dad showed me like these are the things that I deserve. I'm looking at sideways if you're not. And that's the thing. And that's a goes back to another reason I need my daughter to see what she is deserving of. And her mom's needs being anticipated. So she knows that she doesn't need to settle for less as well.
Mm,
Um, so that's like it's such a big thing for me. So that's why I'm like, yeah, definitely more
yeah.
picky, but yeah.
I mean, and so like again, it goes back to like why it's so important to choose carefully and choose what you're allowing them to see. And here's my thing. I'm a big believer in, okay, let's say you decided this is a person I think I'm going to be serious with. I'm going to introduce them to my children. It is okay because I've seen this as well a lot, where it's like I already introduced them to my child and now the consistency is messing up and now things are good. And now you raising your voice around me a lot, now you whatever. But they're like, well, all right, it's just my children already. So let me just try to make it work because they already really, really like him. And da, 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 da. I am such a big believer in it is better for children to have to understand and learn about breakups than it is to teach them that you stick through whatever, that you put up with whatever. Let your daughter, like, let your daughter learn or your son know, like, okay, and you can leave.
Yeah, I
If that's
agree.
what we got to teach them through this, teach them that, okay, and when things are bad, you are allowed to leave.
Mhm. But even if say it's your biological mom and dad, they're not even step nothing. It's just like they're still seeing what love is not supposed to be with you guys just sticking it in for the kids, instead of like breaking off and finding happiness and seeing that it's okay, we can work through this and showing them the process of getting to the next level, showing them the process of finding your happiness again.
Yeah.
Um, and just doing that work. Like, yeah, it's yeah. I
Look,
get it. I get it to have a two-parent home. It's could probably be easier, but, like, it's quiet over here, and there's not a lot of arguing over here.
yeah,
So I'd rather have this any day than bring something else in there that's disturbing the peace or
yeah,
getting away from that and starting our own peace, you know?
yeah. Because like right now over here, my daughter has never seen me argue with somebody. My daughter
Same,
has never seen me go off somebody.
same.
Speaking of things she don't know about me, I don't know if this woman know our cuss. This little person know our cuss. Like this person, and so like if you
Mhm.
are bringing those sides of me out, it's not better for me to just stick here and now. No, because what she did know about her mommy before is mommy like peace in her home.
Mhm.
I mean, be
Mhm.
chilling out. I don't
Yeah,
want her confusing this idea of like you have to have this two-parent home is more important than they have to have a healthy home.
yeah, yeah. They can read the room. Like, all kids can read the room
Oh
with their
yeah.
mama, especially with their mama.
They pick up
So
on things. Kids are
mhm,
way more. I do therapy with adults, but there was a period in my career where I had to do it with children because the agency I work for was not 100% honest about their clientele. But I was told, okay, you might get a couple kids every now and then. Half my caseload was kids. And one of the things I would say I learned during that time period is these kids pick up way earlier than y'all think. Y'all think kids aren't conscious of what's going on today, like 10, 11. I have talked to 6-year olds. Like, yeah, because daddy keep cheating. Mm, can't make mommy mad. And mommy just cried all night. Can I have the color blue? And it's just going up there, just keep drawing a little picture. You're like, oh, okay, all right.
mhm,
I gotta have an uncomfortable conversation with your mama. Um, so
mhm,
these kids are picking up on things. I was like, let me just say, especially in the past rest, unhealed rest. A lot
mhm.
of my fatherless behavior came from having a father. Let me just be very clear. Like a lot of that came from things I saw in a two-bedroom household. I was one of those children that saw certain things and was like, oh, you ain't never got to worry about me having that issue.
Doing that, yeah.
I'm gonna be the problem. If it's gonna be me or this man being a problem, then I will be the problem. So there's also that, especially when we're talking about unhealthy homes. Like it is so
Mhm.
much better. Y'all talk about I don't want to kind of have childless behavior. It's worse behavior when she is seeing you being abused by that man. When
Yeah.
she is seeing you constantly cry. We recently went to a conference for CCE and they were talking about the importance of children seeing their parents happy. That is
Mhm,
one of the biggest indicators for childhood happiness. That when
mhm,
they see you unhappy, how it is so disturbing to their emotional regulation.
mhm. Mhm, I definitely seen that too,
Mhm.
like, the thing that makes this it was like study saying that brings the child the most happiness is having a mom that's emotionally stable, emotionally available and like can regulate their emotions. Cause
Mhm.
like, and that it always goes to my head when I'm having like my depression
Mhm.
times when I'm moping around in my bed all the time. I'm like, and you wonder why she has attitude. Like, it's like, cause she see it. Like,
Yeah.
I understand now. Cause like they see it. And I think that's a real thing, even though it's hard to regulate that
Yeah.
sometimes. But also showing them that you can get up and get out of it too, of those things or doing the work. It's hard, sometimes, but just showing it because I definitely heard that. I definitely heard that study too.
Yeah, and it's okay. It's not to say, like, you always have to hide it. I do think there's certain things that you
Mhm.
should keep away from your kids. I'm not a believer in let them see everything. I don't think they're ready
Mhm.
for everything. But, there are certain things if you're going through things. I went through a depression episode a couple of years back where I noticed, like, she was noticing that I was in bed a lot. Like, she was noticing, like, I was just Uber eating the food, being like, all right, here, and then going back upstairs to go to sleep. And I had to have a conversation with her. And I was like, because I noticed it affected her. And I was like, hey, and I did in that very basic level. I was like, hey, you know what? Yeah, mommy has been crying a lot. And you know what? And sometimes it's okay to cry. And we had to have that conversation. It's okay to have these emotions. But you know what? Mommy's going to try to do some things to make sure she gets better. Matter of fact, that's why me and you and mommy are going to start going to the park more and walking more. That's why you and mommy, we're more, even when mommy don't feel good, mommy is going to make sure. Cause like one of the things we used to do, especially when I lived in that neighborhood, I used to live by the Cumberland area.
Mhm.
And so like I was by the stadium, I was by the Cumberland Mall, I was by a lot of stuff that we could do, a lot of family oriented stuff. And when I went through that depression period, I wasn't doing nothing. She was used to like
Going
two,
out.
3 times a
Yeah.
week. Yeah, I'll get off of work, pick her up from school, and like me and her would go to the mall. We'd go to the stadium, get some ice cream at Jenny's. We would then go to get some ramen noodles and walk around, go into a little green space, and like she's used to us doing stuff, and so she noticed that. And I had to have that conversation, and mommy is so sorry about that, and we're gonna start doing that. And it wasn't that I allowed myself to do it a natural way for me and back up to doing 3 things. I was like, okay, all I have the energy for is to go for this walk. But okay, we're gonna get out and we're gonna go for this walk.
Mhm.
All I had the energy for is to sit on the floor with her and color. But okay, we're gonna sit on the floor and color. I'm gonna try my hardest to be actively involved. So just throwing that out there. Because sometimes it feels like I think when you're a parent that's going through a hard time, you're going through depression, it feels like not only am I feeling myself, I'm feeling my kids.
Yeah.
And then that additional pressure it feels like so much more. It feels like a ton of bricks. Give
Mhm.
yourself some grace. And if you do feel like, okay, it is affecting, maybe sit and have a conversation with your kid about it and be
Yeah.
open and honest. Don't tell them about the suicide notes and stuff. Don't let's
Mhm.
not do
Mhm.
that. But hey, yep, mommy is going through a hard time. Daddy is kind of struggling a little bit. But you know what? This is a part of being human. Sometimes we're gonna have
Mhm.
bad feelings. But you know what?
Mhm.
Daddy's gonna do something about his bad feelings. Daddy's gonna
Yeah.
start going back to play basketball. You wanna go play basketball with us? You can have those conversations because also trust me, there's also on the flip side of that, kids or adults who, when they were kids, they never saw their parents struggle. And so they feel like failures the minute they have a mistake because they're like, my parents never made mistakes. They never had struggles. And this is
Mhm.
feeling them because their parents also never let them see that, hey, this is a part of being human and this is how you can rebuild from that.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think it's like the talk through definitely helps.
Yeah.
Sure. So, something to think about are things that I've had to learn the hard way. Is that maybe bringing someone around too early doesn't really prove that they're ready or I'm ready, except maybe that I'm more afraid of being alone than of confusing my child. Also, that a man can love you, but is still not ready to love us as a unit. And also that my daughter watches how I treat myself more than who I let in.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one is something that I had to learn the hard way. That love isn't something I perform for her. It's something I demonstrate through patience, discernment, and emotional safety.
Yeah.
So it actually these are some of the things that have definitely crossed my mind. With, like, the friend that I was
Mhm.
actually dating, but was saying he was a friend.
Mhm.
The fact that I was like, "Okay, I see him caring for me, but is he interacting with my child? Like, if you're not interacting with her, you're not." being a part of me. And if you're not understanding that we're a package, why are you even really around? Like, and he was like, and then I had somebody tell me that, like, you're so focused on the relationship with the guy being having a relationship with your child, that you're not even like, the base is the relationship with you. And I said, it's a joint decision for me. It's like,
Mhm.
it's a joint decision for me. And I know I'm not tripping because I have
Yeah.
dated guys that actually took my child into consideration and made it
Yeah.
a joint decision. Only
Yeah.
two. But they had made it a joint decision from jump. Like,
Yeah.
I want to love you and your child.
Yeah.
I want to gave her something for her birthday. She didn't know who it came from, but she gave her something for her birthday. Or I want to blend our families when it's time. So it's just like,
Mhm.
I've been there. So it's just like, if something is in your head, like, this is what I want for my family, and this is what I need, just for me, knowing, like, don't let somebody get in your head to change your mind about that. Like,
Yeah.
that's just not the right person, and the child is going to feel that that person is not making a connection with them.
Yeah. Also, I want to add in there too, like, and when you do meet a person, it does seem like, okay, they really take my child into consideration. And, things, again, don't leave yourself out of that as well. Cause sometimes you meet a person, they're like, oh my gosh, they would be such a good stepdad. And, you don't like that man like that. Like, he was
Yeah.
such a sweetheart, but like, you don't like that man like that. And you
Yeah.
have to take that into consideration because eventually your resentment is going to come off.
Mhm. Mhm. And you know what?
Y-
That might have been his point, but wasn't trying to hear it. That might
Yeah.
have been his point. But I was like,
Yeah.
F that F you. This is what I'm saying. But once you said it in that context, I
It
get it
could.
now. I get it.
No, but you know what? Even me, with like, cause I dated somebody, and I did not let this person meet my child, but when I was dating them, they were really considerate of my child, and they also had a daughter as well, and so they knew what it was like to like raise, and our daughters are the same age. On top of that, so they were really considerate. Like, they would go and get groceries for me and then make sure they got fruit snacks and stuff for my baby. They would be somewhere at like a store. And like, I remember one time he was at the store and he was buying his daughter some shoes. And then he was like, oh, shoot. And he texted me, like, hey, what size does baby girl wear? Because our plan was like, okay, if this keeps going good this summer, we're going to let the kids introduce. We're going to let them hang out together. We're going to, let's see if they like each other. Let's start there. And then I'll be like, yeah, this is just some man that's randomly with her. I don't know. And then slowly be like, okay, this is a friend. So into that. Um, and and stuff like that. And I think also when you're a mom, it feels so good to meet somebody that is that attentive and that is that like already thinking of you guys as a whole package and not just you. And you don't have to convince them to see you guys like a package. But like that was a situation where too, like I think sometimes some of the things he did made me give him extra cool points when the me and him side of things weren't exactly as I liked. And not that he was doing horrible big things, but there was things that was happening that let me know, like, I don't think we're actually that compatible. I do think like you're a great person. I think me and you do great as friends, but I'm not sure if this whole relationship thing is gonna be long-term compatible. Like if we do this thing, let's be honest, this is gonna end in divorce. Like if we do this thing, this is not gonna be sustainable anything longer than 5 years. And I do think though, one of the things, and you know this because I had conversations with you. One of the things was like with this particular person, I was like, I really like doing mundane things with him. And I really, really like how again, I haven't let them meet my child, but he'll go out and buy his daughter something and then be like, hey, do you want me to get one for your daughter as well? What size does she wear? And that included, and I felt again, sometimes you just meet people that are really great people, and then you have that extra part. Just also keep in mind though, and I feel like especially my females, it can be hard because you like, I really want someone that loves my baby, and this is somebody that does. And so we kind of let the us side slip a little bit. And it's important that both be there.
Mhm. I
Because
agree.
as we're talking about you being loved and how that can be presented, and like also on the flip side, I have seen people who've also seen their parents like, and they knew one parent did not like the other,
Mhm. Mhm.
and how
Mhm.
that has impacted. They could tell they
Yeah.
mama could not. I had a childhood friend who, when we were in high school, he used to talk to me about it all the time because we used to walk to McDonald's during lunch break. And he used to talk to me all the time about how like his dad loves the hell out of his mom. And he could just tell his mom did not like his dad. And it like broke his heart. And he
Yeah.
has so much resentment and anger towards his mom. Because he's like,
Mhm.
my dad would give her the world. He does everything for her. And she just sometimes sighs when he walks through the door. So you got to be conscious of both.
Yeah, you do. You do.
So lastly, we really want to stress to pretty much every single mom that's out here listening, if no one has told you this, you're not doing too little. You're doing something radical. You are breaking cycles that says any man is better than no man. You're teaching your child that solitude isn't a punishment, that their peace is worth protecting, and that love isn't something that you just settle for, but that it's something that can be safe. And when love finally comes, not only will you know, your child will know because
Mhm.
they would have watched you waited for someone really good, really special, not only for you, but also for them.
Mhm.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll have a new one next Sunday. Follow us on Instagram at She Wolf Alchemy. Give us a like or review wherever you're listening. Be sure to share, and you will hear the sound of our voice next Sunday. Bye.
Bye.